In this presentation, we will be exploring the educational theorists Vygotsky and Jerome Bruner, and comparing the way that their theories have shaped the educational landscape.
This presentation will cover the overview of most and least admirable qualities of each theorist, a view of integrity and respect, best quotes, 3 words that best describe each theorist, 1 value prescribed for each theorist, area of expertise, similarities and differences, and finally ethics.
Let us begin by looking at our first educational theorist, Lev Vygotsky. He said, "What the child can do in cooperation today, he can do alone tomorrow. Therefore, the only good kind of instruction is that which marches ahead of development and leads it. It must be aimed not much at the ripe as at the ripening functions." This quote captures the essence of Vygotsky's views on cognitive development, where he emphasized the crucial role played by social and cultural factors in this process, where the children engage in challenging and meaningful activities with others that are more knowledgeable. What 3 words best describe Vygotsky? Innovative. His views on social constructivism challenge the traditional way of thinking that revolves around rote instruction and memorization and places the student at the center as an active participant in the learning process. Influential. His theory on scaffolding, which posits that the maturation of the student's higher mental functions are fostered in the cooperative learning process with the teacher, where they provide appropriate support, emphasizes the link between learning and development, and continues to serve as a template for effective instructional strategies that support cognitive development in the classroom today. Insightful. His theory on the relationship between the social world and cognitive development provides educators with a foundation for establishing inclusive teaching practices that take into account the socio-cultural background of students in today's increasingly diverse classrooms and their potential positive impact on academic success. Vygotsky's pioneering spirit is admirable, as he was one of the first researchers to emphasize the role of cultural mediation on learning and cognitive development. He offers timeless insights into bilingualism, the challenges ESL students face in language acquisition, and how teachers can integrate diverse cultural perspectives into language instruction. Some critics argue that Vygotsky's theory of cultural development had a Eurocentric bias, resulting in an oversimplification of cultural differences and an assumption that his ideas are culturally universal, whereas there are learning strategies that are more effective in different cultures. Vygotsky demonstrates his value for children through his work, as he sees each one as having the potential for advanced cognitive development in a learning environment that values collaboration, imagination, and creativity. Vygotsky believed that mental and cognitive differences do not comprise defects or deficiencies, but rather the individual's potential can be realized through a change in their environment. Finally, metacognitive teaching practices today are based on Vygotsky's theory of cognitive development. The goal is the eventual mastery of one's own cognitive processes, and the students gradually become less dependent on their expert teacher for guidance and transition into reflective learners who are their own expert guides.
Now let's have a look at our other influential educational theorist, Jerome Bruner. Now let's have a look at our other influential educational theorist, Jerome Bruner. Bruner once said, "The shrewd guess, the fertile hypothesis, the courageous leap to a tentative conclusion, these are the most valuable coins of the thinker at work. But in most schools, guessing is heavily penalized and is associated somehow with laziness." This quote captures Bruner's view that learning is an active, exploratory process. Students should engage with material thoughtfully, even at the risk of making mistakes. Bruner believed learning is a constructive and active process, with his theory of scaffolding as a key example. His concept of a spiraled curriculum introduces complex ideas early in context and then revisits them for deeper understanding. Bruner also advocated for exploratory discovery learning, encouraging active participation in your educational journey. Bruner's belief in student discovery shifted education to a learner-centered approach. His adaptability in refining theories based on research, especially cultural influences on learning, shows his commitment to evolving education. Some critics argue that Bruner's discovery learning may lack structure for younger or struggling students, leading to frustration instead of learning. Curiosity and intellectual exploration were central values to Bruner's work. He believed that education should foster students' innate curiosity, encouraging active exploration of the world around them. Bruner's ethics focus on respecting a learner's ability to construct their own knowledge, though this approach can challenge equity for those lacking motivation or foundational skills, thus widening educational disparities. Bruner's emphasis on discovery learning and scaffolding is particularly effective because it aligns with how learners naturally engage with new information, building upon prior knowledge in meaningful ways. His idea that education should spiral allows learners to continually develop their understanding, which has been widely validated in modern constructivist educational practices. By emphasizing the importance of context and active participation, Bruner's theories laid the groundwork for student-centered approaches that we still use today.